We live in a world of endless options, yet many of us feel more lost than ever. Every day we scroll, consume, extract, and escape, until suddenly we realize the days have turned into months, and the months into years. But what exactly are we escaping from? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists in history, believed that many people waste their lives not because they are lazy, but because they are disconnected from their true self. They are caught in what he called the persona, a mask we wear to satisfy the expectations of society. We act like we are fine. We chase what we are told is success. We follow the crowd, even when our soul is screaming for something more. Jung believed that if you ignore your inner life long enough, it starts to rebel. This rebellion often shows up as anxiety, depression, apathy, and self-sabotage. Not because you are broken, but because your deeper self is trying to get your attention. The question is not whether you are busy. The question is, are you busy becoming who you were meant to be? Or are you busy becoming someone the world told you to be? This is the silent crisis of our time. We spend hours perfecting our appearance, our image, our resume. But how much time do we spend understanding our own mind, our beliefs, our pain, our story? Carl Jung warned of this exact danger. He said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And he was right. Look around. Most people avoid solitude. They avoid introspection. They fill their calendars to avoid the silence, because in the silence, the truth becomes unbearable. They do not know who they really are. And this is not just a psychological problem. It is a spiritual one. Jung believed that every individual has a calling, a unique path, what he called individuation, the lifelong process of becoming your true self. But individuation does not happen by accident. It requires awareness. It requires inner work. And it often requires suffering. Not because suffering is noble, but because it strips away the false layers of your identity. To stop wasting your life, you must first confront the uncomfortable truth that you may already be doing so. Not because you have failed, but because you have not fully awakened. You might be living someone else's dream. You might be chasing status instead of meaning. You might be pursuing comfort instead of purpose. And none of this is your fault. Society teaches us to succeed outwardly before we ever succeed inwardly. We are trained to perform, not to reflect. We are rewarded for fitting in, not for standing out. But Jung reminds us, the soul does not care about your resume. It does not care how many followers you have. It does not care about your net worth. The soul only cares whether you are living in truth or not. So, what does it mean to stop wasting your life? It means stepping off the treadmill of superficial goals and stepping into the lifelong journey of knowing yourself. It means making space to ask, who am I underneath the roles I play? What do I truly want, beyond what others expect of me? What have I been avoiding in myself? This is where the journey begins, not with answers, but with honest questions. And once you start asking those questions, the real work begins. Because you will realize that to reclaim your life, you must reclaim your responsibility. You must stop blaming the world, your parents, your past. You must stop outsourcing your self-worth. You must stop expecting life to get better while you remain the same. You have to descend into yourself. You have to look at the parts of you that you have rejected, repressed, or ignored. What Jung called the shadow. And that journey is not comfortable, but it is necessary, because only when you reclaim your shadow do you reclaim your power. Only when you integrate your darkness can you live with integrity, and only when you stop running from your truth can you start living it. This is the path to meaning. This is how you stop wasting your life, not by doing more, but by becoming more. Carl Jung introduced a concept that has changed the way we understand the human mind: the shadow. It is everything you refuse to see in yourself, your fears, your insecurities, your suppressed desires, your untapped potential. It is not inherently evil, but it is dangerous when ignored, because what you refuse to confront ends up controlling you. He wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Let that sink in. So many people are repeating the same self-destructive patterns not because they are doomed, but because they are unconscious. They are being led by the very parts of themselves they are unwilling to face. Do you procrastinate even when you know it is hurting your future? Do you sabotage good relationships and blame others? Do you keep saying, "I will change tomorrow," while doing the same thing every day? This is your shadow at work, and until you bring that shadow into the light, you will always feel like you're wasting your life, because deep down, you're not in control. You are being controlled by habits, fears, and beliefs you do not even fully understand. But here is the truth. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It shows you where you are wounded, where you are stuck, where your growth is being blocked. And once you stop running from it, something incredible happens. You begin to reclaim your inner authority. Jung believed that true transformation does not come from avoiding darkness, but from walking into it consciously. It is in that descent, that confrontation, where we find the gold buried beneath our pain. Because inside the parts of you that you hide is the strength you need to become who you are meant to be. The world tells you to love yourself, but self-love without self-awareness is empty. You cannot love a self you do not know. You cannot respect a self you keep avoiding. You must do the work of integration. That means journaling your thoughts without censorship. That means sitting in silence and observing your mind without judgment. That means looking at your envy, your rage, your addictions, and asking, what is this trying to show me about myself? This is not easy, but it is the work that separates a wasted life from a meaningful one. And as you begin to integrate your shadow, something else becomes clear. You have always had a choice, not over everything that happens to you, but over how you respond, over what you choose to believe, over whether you live from your wounds or from your wisdom. Carl Jung did not believe in avoiding pain. He believed in transforming it. He believed that suffering could be a portal to self-knowledge if you are willing to face it fully. But most people will not. They will keep numbing, pretending, keep telling themselves they are just not motivated or too busy or not ready. But the truth is, life does not wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving, with or without you. And one day, you will wake up and realize that the time you are waiting for is gone. So if you want to stop wasting your life, you must become radically honest with yourself. Ask, what have I been running from? What am I pretending not to know? What would I do if I was not afraid of failing or being judged? This honesty will hurt, but it will also heal. Because once you confront your illusions, you become free. You begin to understand that the greatest prison is not your job, your relationship, or your circumstances. It is your own mind. when it is left unconscious and unexamined. Carl Jung's work is not about fixing yourself. It is about becoming whole. It is about realizing that the parts of you you thought were wrong or ugly or weak are actually the missing pieces of your strength. Your laziness might be unprocessed grief. Your anger might be buried passion. Your fear might be wisdom that has not found a voice yet. And when you stop wasting energy hiding these parts, you unlock something powerful, your potential. You begin to live in alignment with your values, your purpose, your truth. You stop saying yes when you mean no. You stop living in fear of other people's opinions. You stop waiting for permission to be who you are. And that, according to Jung, is when your real life begins. Not the one society gave you, not the one fear told you to settle for, but the one that was always waiting for you. Beneath the noise, beneath the mask, beneath the shadow. Because the truth is, you are not here to waste your life. You are here to awaken. Waking up to your life is not a single moment. It is a series of moments, small, honest choices, quiet revolutions within your soul. And at the heart of it all is a simple but terrifying truth. You must choose between comfort and growth. Carl Jung understood this deeply. He knew that most people would rather stay numb in a familiar misery than step into the unknown. But he also knew something else, something liberating, that the moment you take responsibility for your inner world, the external world begins to change. You start to see that your environment is not just something you passively endure. It is something you shape every day with every decision. You start to realize that time is not what you lack. It is clarity that you are missing. When you do not know who you are, time slips away like sand through your fingers. You keep filling your life with things that mean nothing, chasing fleeting pleasures, saying yes to distractions, living on autopilot. But when you know who you are, or at least begin the journey to find out, you start to become intentional. You stop wasting energy on things that drain your spirit. You start aligning your habits with your highest self, not your lowest impulses. Jung believed that meaning is not something you stumble upon. It is something you build. And you build it by living in truth, even when that truth is painful. So ask yourself, what parts of your life feel hollow? Where are you pretending? Who would you be if you were not trying to be liked? These questions are not meant to shame you. They are meant to awaken you. Because the biggest tragedy is not failure. It is living a life that was never yours to begin with. And that is exactly what Jung warned us about. He said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And yet, this is the only path to a life not wasted. To accept yourself completely means to stop fighting your story, to stop denying your pain, to stop waiting for someone to save you, fix you, or validate you. It means facing your past, not with blame, but with understanding. It means forgiving yourself, not to excuse your mistakes, but to stop reliving them. It means honoring your potential, not someday, but now. You might be thinking, but I do not have it all figured out. Good. You're not supposed to. Life is not a puzzle to solve. It is a mystery to live. Carl Jung taught that the self is not a fixed identity. It is a process, a becoming. And every moment you choose awareness over avoidance, you move closer to that true self. This process is messy. It will confuse you. It will break you open. It will ask more from you than you think you can give. But it will also make you whole. Because when you stop wasting your life on things that do not matter, you make room for the things that do. You make room for depth, for meaning, for love, not just from others, but from yourself. You make room for real connection, for creative energy, for the kind of peace that comes not from avoiding life, but from fully living it. You stop being a stranger to yourself. And the beauty of this journey is that it does not require perfection. It only requires honesty, the willingness to look inward, the courage to stay when it gets uncomfortable, the humility to grow. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that the path forward is not about controlling the world. It is about understanding your place in it. When you know your values, decisions become easier. When you know your wounds, healing becomes possible. When you know your shadow, you no longer fear it. And when you know yourself, you stop wasting time trying to become someone else. So if you are tired of feeling like your life is slipping away, if you are done with shallow distractions and tired excuses, if you are ready to become something real, something whole, something true, then begin now. Not with a grand plan, not with a 10-step strategy. Begin with awareness. Sit with yourself. Breathe. Reflect. Ask the hard questions. Write them down. Return to them. Let them guide you, disrupt you, wake you. Because your life is not meant to be wasted. It is meant to be lived with your eyes wide open. It is meant to be an unfolding of truth. Not someone else's truth, but yours. And no one can give that to you. You must claim it. That is what Jung meant when he said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." Look inside, awaken. Your time is not running out. It is being given to you right now. And the question is, what will you do with it?